And Chuck and scene
We're
one,
live.
we're live.
Hello, Luca. How have you been?
I'm very well, doing very well. How about you?
You've been around Europe lately.
I have been traveling. And everybody's been very interested in our mobile app.
Ooh. So we're gonna do a special LinkedIn Live for our mobile app today because we've done a lot of changes and we've seen people love it. And Luca has been gathering first-hand feedback as he goes into all of these places and
100%.
shows people the mobile app.
Yes. And actually, why we here?
We are here because we want to talk more about Vinton. We want to understand what people would, if people have any questions about how we work, why we work, what we've created, why we've created. So we're just here to talk about Vinton in a more informal way.
Yes, very informal today because, well, not that, most of the times we're prepared, but, we rushed into this, but, we have such cool things. So, so as Mina was saying, we tend to come to LinkedIn to talk about AI, Salesforce, Agentforce. Lately it's been reporting back from, touring the world, actually. We were in New York, Sao Paulo, then back to Europe and traveled around, sponsoring, participating, connecting with the community, talking about things that help people be more productive, have better visibility on data, deliver better growth for their business. And one of the key things is the mobile
app. Yeah.
So without further ado, what's the demo looking like? We talked about a couple of stories that we want to tell. Mm-hmm. And I think where we're coming from is, I think, building on what Salesforce has been actually saying from the big stage, that you don't need to log into Salesforce anymore, right? So you heard that, right? They say it in, the Agentforce 360 headless context, but, we can say it because people don't particularly like a Salesforce mobile app. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say?
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, more in general, people have a relationship that is somehow troubled with updating their CRM in general, but in particular, for mobile, it's been a journey, and that's why we have a solution maybe for that. Yeah. Right? So we want to bring more data to Salesforce.
Of course, also because it's not necessarily that people don't like using the Salesforce mobile app. It's more that if they want to send a follow-up email after a conversation, they would not want to go into the Salesforce app, see where the note is, copy it, and so what we've done is we've made following up, catching up on what you talked about before a meeting. Like, for example, if I have a meeting with someone in 2 hours and I want to look at the summary of the conversation that I've had with them, I want to just have a look at it from my mobile app. Exactly. If I want to send a follow-up email right after a meeting from my mobile device because I'm on the road, I just want to be able to do that quickly without having to navigate through the Salesforce mobile app, which is a very good app, but it's for a CRM.
You don't need to log into Salesforce anymore. That's what we heard. So now, the demo that we have will cover a couple of typical scenarios, right? And what we always say is that Vinton because it's an AI note taker built natively on the Salesforce platform, meaning as other AI note takers do, we'll record, transcribe, summarize, create insights, extract information typically from conversations, video calls, phone calls, in-person meetings, and voice notes. Correct. Now, we are focusing on that specific area that relates to people on the go, right? So they might actually have the odd video calls every once in a while. They will definitely use their phone. But when it comes to updating their CRM and capturing the conversations that matter for their business, they typically happen in an environment like this. They're sitting in an office, they're across their customers, their partners, and they're talking about opportunities, they're talking about growth, they're uncovering opportunities to engage with their customers. So in that scenario, let me set this up so that we will start from, this is yet another demo environment that we have for you today. Let me see if I can add it to the stage. But our journey goes directly on mobile, right? So take us through it.
Okay, so as you can see, before in our mobile app, we did not have any.
So why don't you close it and you open it and you see, we show the big V. Do you have it? You need to do it first. Sorry, there we go. Vinton,
have
there it is.
really big.
Okay,
So there
so
we go.
we have an app. It's on your
Yes.
iOS or Android.
So if you remember our previous app, we did not have any information in the app. The only thing that you were able to do through our app was record an in-person meeting or a voice note. So you were not able to see any insights directly from within our Vinton app. What we've done now is that, for example, these are all the meetings that I've had. I can filter by video. I can see all of the video calls that I've had. I can see the in-person meetings that I've had. So I have
All my voice
all my
notes.
voice notes. I can see all of the meetings that I've had at what in a chronological order, right? So for example, if I go to all my calls and I have a meeting with someone and I want to review the details. So for example, if I go here,
So I'm waiting for my next meeting. I'm sitting down or in my car, just waiting. So I can check back into my library
correct.
that now lives in my phone and see, okay, so we connected about, talking about, in this case, MBA eligibility
So this
screening
is a-
call.
So this is the
Interesting.
voice note. Let me see if I can find a video call that we can review. So this is the video call. So you can see that I had a video call, which was titled Product Manager Interview. And I can see the full summary of the call over here. So I've
Yes.
had a call. I see the full summary of the call. If I want to share, so for example, I've had this call with someone and I want to share an update with you directly.
Mhm.
So I can either copy the summary, send it over to you.
Yeah.
So I can
Easy.
copy the
On
summary.
top.
I can review it and edit it and then copy it afterwards.
Yeah.
Or I could just copy it and send it to you. Or I could use this.
What's up? You.
That's a double tap on the back. I can use this icon to share it with you. So I can share. I can use this icon to share the
So
public share link with you.
It grabs the URL.
Correct.
Of
It
course,
grabs
of
the
course.
URL. So the first step after a call is you would want to review the summary. We have it over here. After I've reviewed the summary, I can send the follow-up email. So I just swipe next and I have a follow-up email generated.
Nice.
I can copy that and send it across to
whoever was in the meeting with me.
Exactly.
Of course.
And then if we have field agent configured, I can also review what were the changes that were updated on the record for this particular call. If I click on this link, it would take me to the Salesforce app where I would be able to see the full record.
The full record.
And how it's
so that's the
updated.
connection for those that use the
So you can
Salesforce
see
app.
in this particular example, I have this contact and what it's pulling up because it's a project manager interview. So it's pulling up the phone number that was talked about in the meeting, the contact description, and the address, because that's the information that I wanted out of this call. So you can see that you can get all of this information over here. On the top, you have all of the participants.
Oh yeah, of course.
So these are the participants in the call, all of the Salesforce record, which are linked to this particular call. It could be an account, it could be an opportunity, it could be
a case.
Context.
It
could be a case. You can see, so you have context into which this conversation was about.
So now, in your library, you have basically the history of everything that you've been working on. Because in an ideal world, especially again, if we think mobile first, we're thinking people that are on the go, right? So they're traveling, they're parking their car, popping up. Maybe before they had to open up their laptop and and then they would look at their notes, grab their little okay, what was that conversation that I had, and go through that. Now, not anymore, because my professional life is documented there. Then on the flip side, not only all the conversations are there, but we make it super easy to add new
I mean, you
insights.
would know because you've been using it while you were on the road for past few weeks. So you've been using it. So you can probably tell us more about how it's helped you take better notes and how it's made you more productive.
So there are a couple of things that really stand out for me. The first being the super easy one-click record. So you see at the bottom, now we're in the library. And now, with one click, we're recording. And, I can give instructions about this recording. I can tell the person that I'm meeting with, hey, do you mind? I'm really terrible at taking notes and I want to pay full attention to our conversation. So how about I transcribe our conversation through my Super Vinton app here.
I mean, you could lock the screen as well, which would just record on background. There was another, I'm just not locking it because I don't know what notifications I have. But I've just locked my screen, so you can see I have a lot. So you can see that it's still
Yes.
recording in the background. So because there was an ongoing feedback that we received from a lot of our customers that it's draining a lot of battery because it's not able to record background.
Yeah,
in
there
the
are
background.
two reasons exactly for that feedback. One is, and if you can maybe reopen it, we can see that it's continued.
Yes.
The recording of the conversation. Two things really. One is what you're saying, right? So the fact that I needed to keep my phone alive would mean that some battery was draining, especially if my day is full of meetings and I want to record a lot of conversation. The other thing that our clients would do is they want to use their mobile device to show things on their mobile phone. Correct. Or to check things, right? So I'm talking to you about, hey, what's the price of that particular product that I'm interested in? Ooh, let me check the pricing. And it's actually on my phone because that's my main device that I use. Or I want to take a couple of pictures as I walk around, as I, kind of get a sense of, we're talking not only about salespeople, but also, professional services people that would provide a service, for installation or for configuration. So they would, look and take information also via pictures and videos. So that can be also.
Or a very common use case is that you are recording a call, but you want to check your emails and see what you've talked about. So that's also something that I personally have to check my emails and talk about what we talked about before.
Now,
so it's also
another question that pops up all the time. What happens if I receive a phone call while I'm recording?
So when you receive a phone call, the recording would be paused and then you were talking on the phone. But after you've talked, after the phone call is over, it will automatically resume recording. Perfect. So you would not have to do anything. Perfect. So the app understands that your microphone is being used by your mobile phone.
Of course, that's the issue, right?
So exactly. So you can't really record it.
One or the other. Yeah.
Yes, but it would automatically resume recording after you've talked on your phone call.
I don't need to worry about it because the whole conversation.
Correct.
Perfect. Now, when you record from the library, as we did, so from the app, the recording doesn't have a whole. Well, let me rephrase that. It lives in my library. But as we know from Vinton, one thing that Vinton does very well, it maps back to your records for two reasons. One is because we want to keep records up to date, not just our library, like all the other note takers. And second, because once we land in a record, once we associate with a contact, once we associate with an account, or maybe an opportunity or a case, we actually want to be able to update the specific fields that we set up with specific rules. So we want to make sure that, oh, you know what? Description is changing. The close date, if it's an opportunity, the problem resolution, if it's a case that I'm dealing with. And so my update or my conversation will actually not only land in the right record, but also complete the information and the update on the record itself. And we call that field agent. And if you've been following, you know what we're talking about.
So previously, our app did not have that capability. So for example, now I stopped the recording. You can see that this is my review screen. Previously, I could just, of course, I could play back and listen to the recording if I wanted to. But now what you can do is you can search for a Salesforce contact lead or a user, and you can.
So by default, it lives in my library. We'll go to my Salesforce, no problem. And I might actually be able to do it later. But interestingly, what Mina's just showing us is that as soon as I'm in there, I can actually connect to a contact. I can involve my colleagues. I can, these are a couple of leads and a contact. You can see the little icon, Salesforce icon next to it.
Yeah. So over here, I selected a contact because this is the contact that I've had a conversation with. One thing is that if you link a contact, the related account would automatically get linked. So if you, for example, John is a part of an account, you don't have to separately select the account as well. We would know that this is the account that John is a part of, and we would link it. Yes. In the same way, if John is part of an opportunity, if is a contact role in an opportunity, we would link the call back to the opportunity as well.
Yes.
So all you have to do is look for participants and assign them back, and everything else would take care of.
Super easy. One click. 1 second. Now, another thing that we get asked often is, what if I run out of battery, enter into the elevator? I'm actually going downstairs in the basement to get my car that is parked there, and there's no way of getting Wi-Fi or any network.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
happens to that?
Let
Oh,
me
you're showing us.
actually disconnect the internet.
So you're
So-
disconnecting the whole thing.
Oh, so it's
Oh, it went black.
it's because if you don't have internet, I think it doesn't
Oh,
work.
it might be our connection to the screen. Show my screen.
Okay,
Is the screen coming back? It's not. Oh,
it is. Oh, I was not aware that.
and we have the rainbow of death for anyone familiar with. So yeah, we know Salesforce. And what about no? Okay, let me try again. Yeah, we didn't try the offline bit, right? So I think we're
Okay.
where's QuickTime? I don't say QuickTime. So we're using QuickTime to share screen. So
There we go.
we're back. Look at that.
Anyway, so so if you're in offline mode, what would happen is that the sync to Salesforce button would be disabled.
I always mimic this as in it's holding on. They told me that when I was explaining this at at the event, when people does it work offline? Yeah, of course, offline. If you record the thing, Vinton will hold on, and I don't know why I do this, but it's a good representation for an Italian talking with his hands to say it's there, it's saved. It will be aware of being offline. We actually saw that popping up. You couldn't because it went black. But a little information. Oh, don't worry, we got you.
Correct.
Right? So that sync to Salesforce will happen as soon as we're back online.
Correct.
That's as
So
simple as that.
anything that you record using the app and you complete that recording, it's not lost if you don't have internet. If you, for example, if I'm in this screen and I somehow close this, let's. Okay. No.
Showing.
So. Okay.
No, we're logging back on. So we also looking at another, extreme case. We logged out, and what Vinton did is it's held onto the recording. And this is now syncing because we're back.
So
Oh no,
you
it's
can see-
actually sync to Salesforce.
So you can see
system.
that I have offline recordings, which means
Yep.
these were the recordings I recorded when I had no internet. If I click on this, it would upload it to Salesforce now.
So this is the same experience as I'm back out of the parking lot, right? And I have, okay, hey, we got you. So this was, updated, is now being recorded. You can see it's being processed. Now you can see it says new voice note. So it has a temporary title, running title. And then John Smith is because that's the one that we selected. Acme, as Mina was saying, because it's the account that John Smith belongs to. And then voice is just, it's a very easy way to indicate what type of processing this is, right? Now, this, will take around, 30 seconds. Obviously, being a demo, it will take more, just because, we're working on a demo. But the expectation is now, this is being transcribed. The transcript is now being processed through the AI with the instructions that we've given, so with the prompts and the templates that we've set up. And when it's ready, it will go back into our Salesforce. And not only will populate my library as a user, but it will, and now it's ready, but it will also go directly to populate the John Smith Acme account, John Smith contact.
You can see that this is an in-person meeting that's recorded. The reason why we see person 1 and person 2 is because it's diarized to an in-person meeting. When we were recording it, it was just it was just a voice that we recorded, an audio that we recorded, but the system was intelligent enough to understand that there are two people speaking, and that's why it's categorized as an in-person meeting. Although we didn't specify in the record whether it's an in-person meeting or.
Exactly. Now, interestingly, it says person 1 and person 2 because it's obviously two people that it's identified. But ideally, if I say, "Hey, Mina, how are you?" and Mina replies, "I'm well, Luca, and you?" and I say, "Oh, everything is fine." So it will actually try to identify. Vinton has this intelligent built-in. It will try to identify the different speakers and try to assign a label, obviously a name to them, to make it easier to understand when you're coming back. But we don't worry too much about that contextualization. And the reason is that we actually pre-contextualized it. So John Smith is right here. And if we go here, we have a super Vinton app feature captured directly into the contact, as we indicated with the one-click alignment of the call. And this is where Vinton does its, everything that you know about Vinton. So it's AI note taking, so it has the full transcript, person one and person two. And actually, we said that, let's pretend that one of these is, which one is you?
I think the second one is me.
We can probably listen to it. So this is me. I don't know if you could hear that, but we could hear, because obviously we have the full recording here. So that would be John, let's say, and you are
person two.
Person two. So that's me. Now, why the suggestion, right? So we have a couple of suggestions. That's probably obvious because Mina was the one who initiated. It was her as a user initiating the recording, and then the recording was contextualized to a contact. So Vinton assumes, well, likely if there are two people, one will be Mina and one will be the other person. And then might be a third, a fourth person, fair enough. And you'll go and find them or create the contact and then associate it very, very easy. So that's a transcript. Then we have the summary, right? So this is completely customizable. I think I mentioned Super Vinton. I was so excited about our app that I mentioned Super Vinton. That's why that's what I picked up in the follow-up here, in the summary here. Follow-up is, hey, it was great talking about this app. And obviously, again, once this is set up in a bit more of a proper example, it would know what to say and when to say it. And then at some point I probably reopen the app and check recording, which was action-oriented statement that Vinton was able to pick up and lay out as a suggested next step. Now, background recording worked because we have a continuous recording that didn't stop, and that's just magic. The one thing that we haven't shown you is how, when instructed, Vinton can actually create a new record or update an existing record, right?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of having a mobile app or a Salesforce that you can talk to, or a place where you go to talk to your Salesforce without logging into Salesforce, just to echo what Parker Harris has been saying for a while. You don't need to log into Salesforce anymore. We took it to the letter. And so you log into an app that is extending your Salesforce, you talk to it, and all of a sudden you've created a new entry. And now Mina has activated a rule. So Mina was in the background. It's super easy to operate. Our field agent is, declarative instructions in the same way that you would go to your GPT or your Claude and, pre-contextualizing the question that you're asking. You're saying, well, this is my conversation. This is the destination, the record, and the fields specifically. Bring everything that is already in the field, this new conversation, combine it, and give me some feedback and some information. So do we have a field agent ready?
Yeah.
Really, we do? Okay.
I think it should.
So we're improvising something, and one click. So we're back on the app, looking at Mina's screen. So what are we doing?
I mean, you can see that this is updated now because you've changed the participant name, so you can see that person one,
of
person
course.
two is not there anymore.
And John Smith and Mina and Acme.
Another thing that I think we forgot to mention is that you can also regenerate insights. Whereas if you see the summary and you think that the template that the summary is generated using, it's not correct. You
can access your templates also here. Fantastic. And why is this relevant? And actually, you can see a few interesting examples there. Because when you set up your templates in Vinton, you give the templates some context. You say, well, if the conversation is a discovery conversation, it's a follow-up service conversation, is a negotiation, these are your specific instructions, right? And then you can basically from there trigger all the important updates and automation that we expect from Vinton and Field Agent. Now, sometimes that might not be the case because you have two things in a conversation. You have both I don't know, a presentation of a new product and a negotiation in the same call. I don't know. Just you probably can think of some examples in your business. When that happens, then you can actually go back here and force the direction that you want Vinton to go down to, so that he captures the right insights, it provides the right summary, the right follow-up email, the right next steps are extracted, coaching, if it's, goes into sentiment, topic analysis, all of that, as well as trigger the right updating of the fields in your Salesforce.
99% of the time, the template applied to a call, if the context is well defined, is the correct one.
Yep.
We've seen very few instances where the templates applied are not correct, and that's usually because the context is not well defined, or 2 or 3 templates might have similar context. So that's when it gets a bit confused, and then the insights are not generated using the correct template. So for those scenarios, you could just reprocess from the app. So now you don't have to open your desktop and reprocess from over there. You could just select the template and apply the insights over here.
Yes.
And then again, you can assign records after a call as well.
Of course.
So now you can.
I forgot. Frank was also in it, and James and Swangs. And so you go and. So
you can do that after the call as well. So this is all what you can do. I think maybe we can just show.
What are we gonna show? A new.
We can. Okay. Let me see.
So my typical example as I was traveling was create a new lead. So that was very impressive for our clients.
Maybe we could create a new lead, or we could see an example that's already existing. So we basically dropped a voice note that, hey, I've met with someone. This is the name, email address.
Do you have the create new lead active as a rule?
Yes, it should be active. Yes.
Should we do it?
Yeah, of course.
So let's show you. I mean, we're running out of time. 3 minutes. We'll do it.
So.
Okay, create a new lead. I've just met with Mina Smith. Mina works for a company called Apple. They make computers and phones, and it's quite a successful company, I hear. Her role is specifically dedicated to Salesforce, so she's head of Salesforce operations. She's very interested in our Vinton solution for, efficiency, collaboration, bringing more data, enrich their Salesforce without any effort whatsoever. We showed the mobile app, and she was very happy with it. I have her pretend business card here, and her email address is mina@apple.com. Her telephone number is, and I'll give you mine, not Mina's, call me, 07748 188 067. Industry, well, they make mobile phones, I said it. So I think, we met at the World Tour in London, and that was a very good event indeed. Now we stop this.
And then we sync.
And this is, again, just connected to the user. So, Mina is giving instructions and it has the difference with a general conversation or a normal voice note update is that we gave a specific instruction. And then we set up Vinton to pick up on that instruction and use it to make something happen. The make something happen was set up by Mina on the fly, which is create a new lead. And it can create custom objects, standard objects. It can update existing ones and so forth. So now we have the AI note taker part ready. Should we actually go into the Vinton tab? Is this yours?
Yes. So you can see.
So there we go. So you can see that we have the AI note taker part, taken care of because we have, follow up. Hey, Mina, great to meet you at the World Tour. Oops, my pronunciation there. Next steps, create a new lead. Well, that doesn't, mean a lot. But what's interesting is in Field Agent, we have a new lead. And if I actually go there, I can show you that actually a new lead was created. You can see the company is Apple. The new lead is Mina. We have her email address.
If you could go to the details, you would see.
In the details we have all the other things that we said about Mina. We have the trade show. That's where we met. The industry's technology that was picked up automatically because we said they make phones, and then this is a brief description, so you can see how easy it is talking to your Salesforce and keeping talking to your Vinton app in this case, and keeping your Salesforce records up to date. Right. No questions in LinkedIn. Let's see. I think we covered a lot of things already, and we are at time. So there are no questions from our live audience. Well, keep the questions coming. If you're still watching the recording, thank you for watching. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Shall we go back to our faces only? There we go. Just to say thank you for watching this far. And we are very excited. We're open for business. That number that you heard picked up by Vinton is my number, but just connect with us. You'll find us on the Agent Exchange now, the old App Exchange, or just Google Vinton for Salesforce. Best AI note taker for Salesforce in your favorite LLM, and they'll direct you to Vinton for sure.
With the cool new mobile app now.
With a very cool mobile app. I don't know what I'm more excited about. If the background recording, the connection, the easy connection with the, kind of one click, link records. I don't know. It's super exciting.
Yeah, so we would get in touch if you want this app. I think it's a game changer for everyone who wants to keep their Salesforce updated.
Yes.
Super easy, super simple. Luke has created so many leads, which he would not have otherwise if he did not have this app. So
correct. I was, talking to people repeatedly, but at the end of the day, everything was in my Salesforce. Everything was ready for my follow-ups. So if you want to do the same, get in touch. If not, you'll see us anyway in LinkedIn in another couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, with more cool updates from the world of Vinton, AI, data, and Salesforce.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.